What if six figures isn't freedom, but a more comfortable trap? The year you finally break into six figures might be the same year you realize you're still living paycheck to paycheck. I'm not talking about people who are reckless with money. I'm talking about guys who did everything right, and then one day they check their bank account and think, wait, I make $100,000 a year. Where's it all going? It's about why earning more money doesn't automatically mean you're building wealth, and why so many smart, hard-working people get stuck in what I call the six-figure illusion. Let me introduce you to James. James is 32. He works in tech sales in Austin, Texas. Last year, he made $105,000. For the first time in his life, he cracked six figures. His gross salary is $105,000 a year. That's about $8,750 per month before anything gets taken out. Then comes federal tax, state tax, Social Security, Medicare. After all that, James takes home around $6,200 a month. Now let's see where it goes. Rent for his one-bedroom apartment in a decent part of Austin is $1,800. Car payment, $520 a month. He financed a used Audi A4 2 years ago. Student loans, $420 a month. He refinanced them, got a better rate. He's being responsible. Groceries and food, around $600. A few dinners out, morning coffee, lunch near the office sometimes. It adds up. That's $3,845 right there. He still has $2,355 left. Not bad. But then there's the credit card. See, James isn't irresponsible, but over the last 2 years, he's been building a life that matches his income. His average monthly credit card payment to stay on top of it is $400. Now he's at $1,955 left. And here's where it gets tight, because life doesn't stop. The car needs new tires, his buddy's getting married in Denver, flight and hotel. By the end of most months, James has somewhere between $500 and $800 left, sometimes less. He's earning six figures, and he's saving less than 10% of his income. Now, before we go any further, let's be clear. James isn't failing. He's not drowning in debt. He's just normal. And that's the problem, because here's what nobody tells you about earning six figures. It doesn't mean you're wealthy. It means you're now living in a higher cost bracket of normal. Think about it. When James was making $50,000 a few years ago, he had a roommate. He drove a 2008 Honda Civic. Now he makes double that. But his life didn't just get twice as comfortable. It got twice as expensive. This is called lifestyle inflation. And it's not about being weak-willed or materialistic. It's about context. When you earn more, you're around people who earn more. You work in places where everyone dresses a certain way, drives a certain kind of car, lives in a certain kind of neighborhood. Here's the psychology. Your brain doesn't measure wealth in absolute terms. It measures it relative to your environment. James doesn't feel rich because he's surrounded by people who make $120K, $150K, $200K. His spending is normal. And normal is expensive. So even though James doubled his income, he didn't double his wealth. He doubled his expenses. Let's do the math over 5 years. If James saves $700 a month, that's $84,000 a year. That sounds okay, but remember, he earned over $500,000 in that same period, $525,000 in gross income, and his net worth grew by $50,000. That's less than 10% wealth conversion. Compare that to his coworker, Matt. Matt makes $85,000, but Matt kept his old living situation. Roommate, cheaper car, fewer upgrades. He saves $1,200 a month. Over 5 years, Matt builds $85,000 in invested wealth. Matt earns 20% less than James, but he's building wealth 70% faster. Not because he's smarter, not because he's more disciplined, but because he didn't let his lifestyle inflate with his paycheck. Now, here's the uncomfortable part. The system wants you to spend your raise. When you make $50,000, credit card companies offer you a $3,000 limit. When you make $100,000, they offer you $25,000. Car dealerships pre-approve you for a $50,000 loan. Apartment complexes in nicer areas suddenly become affordable because you meet the income requirement. Everyone around you is congratulating you for leveling up, and leveling up means spending more. You're not being irresponsible, you're being normal. And normal is the trap. Let's look at Europe for contrast. Take someone like Lucas. He's 33, lives in Munich, works in engineering. He earns 85,000 euros, roughly $92,000. On paper, less than James. But here's his life. He takes home about 4,500 euros per month after taxes. His rent for a one-bedroom apartment is 1,200 euros. High, yes, it's Munich, but he doesn't have a car. He bikes or takes public transit. That saves him $500 to $700 a month right there. No student loans. University in Germany was nearly free. Health insurance is already deducted from his paycheck and covers almost everything. No surprise medical bills. He eats out less, not because he's cheap, but because the culture is different. Cooking at home is just normal. Restaurants are for occasions. His phone bill is 20 euros, gym is 30 euros, streaming and subscriptions maybe 40 euros. At the end of the month, Lucas is saving 1,400 to 1,600 euros. That's over 30% of his take-home income. And here's the thing, Lucas doesn't feel deprived. He's not living some monk lifestyle. He just lives in a system where the baseline normal is less expensive. Smaller cars are normal, renting long-term is normal, not having the newest gadgets is normal. James and Lucas both work hard, both are smart, both earn good money. But one lives in a culture that pushes you to spend your status. The other lives in a culture where saving is just what people do. And the long-term result is massive. In 10 years, if Lucas keeps saving 1,500 euros per month and investing it, he'll have around 250,000 euros in invested wealth. James, at his current rate, might have $100,000. Same effort, same intelligence, different financial outcome. Because the environment shaped the behavior. So what do financially intelligent people do differently? They don't earn more, at least not at first. They treat raises differently. Here's the rule. When your income goes up, your lifestyle budget stays flat, at least for the first year. Let's say James gets promoted. His salary jumps from $105,000 to $125,000. That's an extra $1,200 a month after taxes. Most people immediately think, great, now I can afford a nicer place, or finally get that car upgrade, or stop worrying about spending. Financially intelligent people think, great, that's $1,200 a month I can automate into investments before I even see it. They don't feel the lifestyle upgrade because they never let themselves get used to the extra cash. This is called paying yourself first, and it's not about willpower, it's about systems. You can't resist spending money you see, but you won't miss money you never touched. Here's another shift. Wealthy people stop buying status, they start buying time and freedom. James bought a car that signals success. A financially intelligent person buys a car that's reliable and cheap to maintain because they'd rather have $200 extra per month going into investments. James rents in a trendy part of town because it feels like where someone at his level should live. A financially intelligent person rents somewhere boring and affordable for 5 years, stacks cash, and then buys a property that actually builds equity. It's not about being cheap, it's about being intentional. The question isn't, can I afford this? The question is, does this move me towards financial independence, or does it lock me into needing my paycheck forever? Because here's the real goal that nobody talks about. The point of earning 6 figures isn't to live like you earn 6 figures. The point is to build enough wealth that one day you don't need to earn 6 figures anymore. That's freedom. And most people trade it away for a lifestyle that looks successful but feels like a treadmill. Let's imagine 2 versions of James 10 years from now. Version 1. James keeps doing what he's doing. He gets a few raises, maybe he's making $140,000 by age 42, his rent is now $2,200, his car payment is $650 for a newer model, his credit card balance hovers around $8,000, his net worth at 42, around $120,000. Sounds decent, but remember, he earned over $1.3 million in that decade. He converted less than 10% of it into actual wealth. He's not broke, but he's still dependent. He can't quit his job. He can't take a year off. He can't say no to a project he hates because his life costs $6,500 a month to maintain, and his savings won't carry him for long. Now, version 2. James makes one decision at 32. He keeps his lifestyle frozen for 3 years. Same apartment, same car, same spending. But every raise, every bonus, it goes straight into a brokerage account. By 35, he's got $80,000 invested. That money is growing. He loosens up a bit, moves to a slightly nicer place, but he's still saving $1,500 a month minimum. At 42, his net worth is $320,000. He's still working, but he's not trapped. He could take 6 months off if he wanted. He could switch careers. He could negotiate harder because he's not desperate. Same person, same income, roughly, different mindset, different result. One chose to look successful. The other chose to become secure. And here's the part that nobody tells you. The feelings don't match the appearances. The guy with the nice car and the trendy apartment often feels anxious because deep down, he knows he's one bad quarter away from stress. The guy with the boring car and the growing investment account, he sleeps better, not because he has everything, but because he's not pretending to be. So here's the truth about earning 6 figures. It's not the finish line. It's just a higher starting point. What you do with it, whether you spend it to look the part or invest it to build the foundation, that's what determines whether you're actually getting ahead or just getting more expensive. You don't need to live like a monk. You don't need to hate your life or skip every dinner out. You just need to be honest about what you're optimizing for. Status or security, comfort now or freedom later. There's no wrong answer, but there is a cost to each one. And the earlier you decide which one matters more to you, the less you'll wake up at 40 wondering where all the money went. Subscribe.